Hello everyone. Today I will discuss the types of demand in this video because I have discussed some other topic related to demand and demand analysis. So today's topic is types of demand. But before discussing the types of demand, I will discuss with you what is the concept of demand. Then I will discuss types of demand. So in the first slide, I will discuss the concept of demand in economics. Okay. In our day to day life, demand usually means a desire or a want for something. However, in economics, every desire or want is not a demand. The term demand is used in three forms. Three forms, I mean to say, demand is an effective desire. Effective desire means a desire of any commodity will become effective desire only when it is supported by following three factors like desire for a commodity and the availability of desired commodity and ability to pay for the desired commodity and willingness to spend for the desired commodity is also important. So if you desire for a commodity and that thing is available in the market and you have a ability to pay and willingness to spend for the desired commodity is also important, then we can say that demand is an effective desire. But demand is an effective desire. It is not only enough to say this is demand, this is only effective desire. Demand is the quantity of a commodity demanded at a particular price. Particular price and particular time. Both things are important. Particular price and particular time. I mean to say, demand is the quantity of a commodity demanded at a particular price and particular time also. Okay, so demand is an effective desire and quantity of a commodity demanded at a particular price and particular time. So we can say that demand is not just the desire for the commodity. Rather, when the desire is supported by the means to purchase, the willingness of the consumer to use those means to buy the commodity and purchasing power of the consumer, then only it is termed as demand. Okay, now I am going to discuss the main topic, types of demand. Okay, so the demand can be classified on the following, like which I will discuss with you here. First is individual demand and market demand. Next one, total market demand and market segment demand. Next one, derived demand and direct demand. Next one, industry demand and company demand. Next one is short run demand and long run demand. Then I will discuss with you price demand, income demand and cross demand. Okay, so price, income and cross is a very important factor, but behalf of market, I will discuss lots of demand with you because these are important when we are going to generate and anticipate for the market scenario. Okay, so first of all, I will discuss individual demand and market demand. So, what is the difference between individual demand and market demand? Okay, what is individual demand? The quantity of a commodity which an individual is willing to buy at a particular price of the commodity during a specific time period, given his money, income, his taste, and prices of other commodity, particularly substitutes and complement, is known as individual demand for a commodity. But the total quantity which all the consumers of a commodity are willing to buy at a given price per time unit, given their money income, taste, and prices of the other commodities, is known as market demand for the commodity. The market demand for a commodity is the sum of individual by all the consumers or buyers of the commodity over a time period and at a given price, other factors remaining the same. A product may be in demand in the market, though an individual may or may not have a demand for the product. Under the case of monopsony, where there is a single buyer only, individual demand and market demand coincide. Market demand reflects the nature of competition and the form of market structure. Market demand provides useful guidance to management in deciding its market strategy and related corporate policy. Therefore, market demand is more important from the business point of view. Okay, so now I will discuss total market demand and market segment demand. Okay, please listen this point carefully. Demand for a product can be studied in its aggregate or in its parts by breaking the total demand into different segments on the basis of geographical area, price, sensitivities, sub-products, products uses, distribution channels, customer size, etc. The total market demand will be aggregate demand for the product from all the segments, while market segment demand would refer to demand for the products in that specific market segment. Demand analysis requires not only the total demand for a product but also a breakup of the demand for the product in different parts of the market. Problems such as sales forecasting calls for an analysis of total market demand, but problems such as pricing, delivery, and promotion require analysis of market segment. Market segments may differ significantly in respect of delivery prices, delivery codes, profit margins, seasonal patterns, cyclic sensitivities, and market competition. Management may have to follow different sets of policies for different market segment, say home market and foreign market, or say wholesale market and retail market. Now I will discuss derived demand and direct demand. What is the difference between derived demand and direct demand? When the demand for an output is associated with the demand for another output, is called derived demand. Derived demand is also says that induced demand. For example, the demand for cement is derived from the demand for construction activity. The demand for cotton yarns is derived from the demand for cotton cloth. Therefore, demand for factors of production is a case of derived demand. When the demand for an output of goods and services is independent of the demand for other product is called direct or autonomous demand. Direct demand is also known as autonomous demand. Derived demand is also known as induced demand. So, I was discussing direct demand. So, for example, the demand for cotton cloth is autonomous demand through the demand for cotton yarn is induced demand. I mean to say the demand for cotton cloth is autonomous. Through the demand for cotton yarn is induced demand. This distinction is not very distinct. Much would depend on the available relatedness or linkage or output effects. For example, the demand for cotton cloth itself may be a derived one when we have the demand for cotton shirts as the direct demand. Okay, so in the next slide, I will discuss industry demand and company demand. The concept of industry demand and company demand is not a different. I mean to say industry demand has reference to the total demand for the product of a particular industry. For example, the demand for tires. The demand for tires is the industry demand because industry demand has reference to the total demand for the product of a particular industry, but company demand has reference to the demand for the product of a particular company which is a party of that industry. For example, the demand for tires manufactured by the MRF, the company demand, may be expressed as a percentage of the industry demand. The percentage so calculated would indicate the market share of the company. The market share of the company normally depends on the nature of competition and the market structure. Under monopoly, where a single firm constitutes the industry, company demand and industry demand will be the same. Under non-monopoly situation, the market share will depend on factors like price, spread, the difference between the price charged by one company and the price charged by another company, and product improvement, expenditure promotional expenditure like advertisement, and governmental interference like protection. The study of industry demand is useful guide to the analysis and forecasting of company demand. Now I am going to discuss short run demand and long run demand. Short run demand and long run demand. So, firstly, I will discuss short run demand. Short run demand refers to the demand for such goods as the demanded over a short period. In this category, there are mostly the fashion, consumer goods, goods of seasonal use, and inferior substitutes during the scarcity period of superior goods, etc. On the other hand, the long run demand refers to the demand which exists over a long period. The change in long run demand is expected only after a long period. Most generic goods have a long term demand. For example, demand for consumer goods and producer goods, durable and non durable goods is long run demand. Though the different varieties or brand may have only short term demand. Okay, now in this slide I am going to discuss price demand. Price demand is very important for all the aspect, in the sense of producer, in the sense of market structure, market strategies. So I will discuss price demand. Price demand, I think you are seeing the graph which is related price and demand factor. Usually when we talk of demand, we mean price demand. I think you understand. Usually when we talk of demand, we mean price demand. Price demand means The amount of commodity um, commodity which a person is willing to purchase at a particular price. We presume that other factor affecting the demand like the income of consumer, his preference, tastes, prices of other related goods remaining unchanged. The demand has inverse relation with the price. As the price increases, the demand decreases. And as the price decreases, demand increases. This is shown in this figure. In the figure, quantity of demand has been presented on OX axis and the price of commodity on OY axis. When price of commodity was OP, its demand was OQ. Price increases to OP1, demand decreases to OQ1. Thus, on an increase in price, demand decrease. You know, the relationship between price and quantity demanded is always inverse, which is shown in this graph. Now, I'm going to discuss income demand. Income demand means the amount of commodity which a person would purchase at a given level of income. The income demand refers to the willingness of an individual to buy a certain quantity at a given income. Here, the price of the product, customer taste and preference, and the price of the related goods are expected to remain unchanged. There is a positive relationship between the income and demand. While considering income demand, we assume price, taste, preferences, price of other commodities to remain constant. Income demand brings out the relationship between quantities demanded at different level of income. Cheese, butter, ice cream, chocolate, gold, silver, etc. are some examples of this type of goods. Usually, the demand for such a commodity increases as the income of a person increases. These are the products which I have discussed with you: cheese, butter, ice cream, gold. That's mean usually the demand for such a commodity increases as the income of a person increases. This is shown in figure 2A, not a B, only 2A. Superior or high priced goods have direct relation with the income. But the demand for some commodities is inversely related with the income. These goods are called inferior or cheap goods. The demand for such goods decreases as the income of a person increases. Such a relation is likely to occur when one commodity is cheap but inferior substitutes for some other commodity. Coarse grain, bread, good, etc. are few examples of this type of goods. When the income of a person increases, he consumes less of such commodities. This relationship is shown in figure 2b. In figure 2a, demand of superior goods has been presented on OX axis and income of consumers on OY axis. Demand for superior goods was OQ at OI level of income. Income increases, as a result demand decreases to OQ1. Thus, demand for superior goods bear a direct relationship with the income of consumers. But in figure 2b, demand for inferior goods has been presented on OX axis and income of consumers on OY axis. Demand of superior goods was OQ at OI level of income. income increases to OI1, and as a result demand decreases, OQ1. Thus the demand of inferior goods bears as an inverse relationship with the income of consumers. Okay. I mean to say, as the income increase, the demand for the commodity also increase, except inferior goods. Okay. So now I will discuss cross demand. Cross demand is the last one which I have shown in the second slide, full coverage, total demand scenario. So I will discuss cross demand. So cross demand, first of all, I want to say that cross demand depends on two types of goods: substitutes goods and complementary goods. I mean to say, the only two types of goods are considered if we know about cross demand, because both the goods are cross demand, under the cross demand. When the demand for a commodity depends not only on its own price but also on the price of other commodities, is called cross demand. When demand for a commodity depends not only on its own price but also on the price of other commodities, it is called cross demand. When the price of one commodity falls, its demand increases, but the demand of other commodity called substitutes falls. For example, tea and coffee. For example, sugar and gur are the some example of substitute goods. This relation is illustrated in figure 3a. If the fall in price of one commodity raises the demand for another commodity, the two goods are called complementaries. Car and petrol, pen and ink, tea and milk are some examples of complementary goods. This is illustrated in figure 3b. The curve slopes downwards from left to right, indicating that a fall in the price of one commodity leads to a rise in the demand for complementary commodities. Okay, so we can say that cross demand is one of the important types of demand, wherein the demand for a commodity depends not on its own price but on the price of other related product, is called as the cross demand. Such as with the increase in the price of coffee, the consumption of tea increases, since tea and coffee are substitute goods. These are substitute to each other. Also, when the price of cars increases, the demand for petrol decreases, as the car and petrol are complementary to each other. Okay, in figure 3a, demand of substitute goods has been presented on OX axis and the price of original commodity on OY axis. Demand of substitute goods was OQ when the price of original commodity was OP. Price of original commodity increases to OP1, and as a result the demand of substitute goods increases to OQ1. Thus, the demand of substitute goods bears a direct relationship with the price of original commodity. The demand of original commodity and substitute goods moves in opposite direction. And you can see in figure 3b, demand of complementary goods has been presented on OX axis and the price of original commodity on OY axis. Demand of complementary goods was OQ when the price of original commodity was OP. Price of original commodity increases to OP1, and as a result the demand of complementary goods decreases to OQ1. Thus, demand of complementary goods bear an inverse relationship with the price of original commodity. Note that the demand of original commodity and complementary goods move in the same direction. Okay, so I think you understand this concept. The two goods are under cross demand: substitute goods and complementary goods. In the case of substitute goods, demand and the relationship between price is directly related. But in the case of complementary goods, demand of complementary goods to original goods is related to negatively. This is inverse relationship. I mean to say the relationship between original goods and substitute goods is always positive. But the relationship between the original goods and complementary goods are inverse, but not always. On a sudden change in price, it is possible. And I want to say that if the two, if the cross demand is zero, that means both the goods are independent. There is no relationship between them. Okay, so I have discussed all the important issues, all the important demand. I mean to say types of demand, individual demand and market demand, and total market and market segment demand, and derived demand and direct demand, industry demand and company demand. But price demand, income demand and cross demand is the important for all the aspect, because usually when we talk to demand we mean price demand, and income factor is also important because if you have if you have a willingness, so income is a very important factor. But I mean to say when we consider price, when we see the relationship between price and quantity demand is all other factors remaining constant. But when we see the relationship between income and quantity demanded, all other factors remaining constant except income. The relationship between income and quantity demanded is always positive except inferior goods. When we see the relationship between cross demand, it depends only two types of goods: substitute goods and complementary goods. In the case of substitute goods, the relationship is always positive. And in the case of complementary goods, when we see the relationship between the original goods and the complementary goods, it is negatively related. But on a sudden change in price, it is possible. So, I have discussed the total structure of types of demand. And price, income and cross, these are all the factors which I have discussed in this slide. So, all the important scenario which I consider lot of things. Okay, so thank you everyone for attending this video, for listening me. Okay, thank you all.